Anthony Albanese just got schooled by his own party. And if you think this climate chaos is just another Canberra kerfuffle, think again, mate. We're talking full-blown mutiny from within Labor's own ranks, power struggles brewing behind closed doors, and a climate-ticking time bomb that could blow this whole government sky high. And while Albo's off giving sound bites about taking advice, his left-wing mates are gearing up to drag him kicking and screaming into a 70% emissions reduction target by 2035, whether he likes it or not. Before we dig into this Labor meltdown, where Albo dodges real climate action, the left's ready to riot, and NSW's MPs are hoarding cabinet seats like it's a fire sale, smash that like button like you're slapping another broken promise off the table. Subscribe if you're sick of political spin masquerading as strategy. And don't forget to grab your Albo-lutely clueless' shirt. Links in the description. Let's get into this mess. Let's not sugarcoat it. Albo's playing it safe. Way too safe. After winning the election with a thumping majority, you'd think he'd have the guts to go big on climate. But no. What do we get? A textbook case of political footy. He's sitting on his hands, waiting for advice from the Climate Change Authority that was conveniently delayed until after the election. Bit bloody convenient, don't you reckon? Meanwhile, Labor's left faction. Shout out to LEAN. The Labour Environment Action Network has had enough of the fence sitting. They want a bold 70% emissions, cut by 2035. And they want it now. But Albo, he's doing his best impression of a bloke, pretending not to hear his missus yelling from the other room. We haven't made any decisions about that yet, he tells Sky News. Translation: we're going to kick this can down the road till the media stops asking questions. And while all this climate chaos brews, don't forget the factional knife fights happening behind the scenes. The NSW's right faction is strutting around like it owns the joint. 5 cabinet ministers from one state. Overrepresented much? Tony Burke, Chris Bowen, Michelle Rowland, Ed Husic, Jason Clare, all stacking the deck. Victoria's fuming. They want a piece of the pie? And Daniel Molino's name is being floated as the bloke to balance things out. But here's where it gets juicy. Ed Husic already gave up his spot once. For Christina Keneally, of all people. And word is, he's not stepping aside again. You can't blame the guy. Why should he keep copping it to please the factional gods? And if Albo tries to force a reshuffle to calm down the left, you better believe there will be fireworks. Let's not forget, energy prices nearly cooked Labor last term. They promised cheaper bills, then watched them skyrocket. Did they fess up? Nope. They spun it, blamed global factors, said circumstances changed. The old political shuffle. But here's the kicker. Despite the broken promises, the coalition still got flogged. That tells you how little trust Aussies have in the other mob, but don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean Labor gets a free pass. Now there's talk of Chris Bowen possibly being shifted out of the energy portfolio. Could be the easiest way for Albo to make it look like he's doing something without actually doing anything. A classic political sleight of hand. Swap the faces, keep the policy vague, hope no one notices. But the left won't cop that. They want real change. And if Bowen refuses to budge, things are going to get real messy. You've also got Albanese trying to look like the adult in the room. He's pushing the whole measured and disciplined line, saying he only wants to deliver what he promised during the campaign. Fair go. But mate, the world's on fire. Literally. Sticking to last year's policy list when you've just won a mandate bigger than a Bunnings sausage sizzle on a Saturday. That's not discipline. That's cowardice wrapped in spin. And let's talk about Lean, the left-wing crew within Labor. These aren't just some uni kids with banners. They're an organised, loud and influential group who see this election win as a green light to go harder than ever on climate. And they're not going to sit quietly while Albo waffles about waiting for advice. Even within the party, this is becoming a battleground. The left wants action, the right wants control. Albo wants peace, but you can't have all three. At some point, someone's going to blink, and when they do, we could be looking at a full-on Labour civil war. And before anyone starts saying, but this wasn't a climate change election, wake up. It should have been. It could have been. But it turned into a cost of living brawl because Labour chose to play it safe. They dodged making any new bold promises, including that 2035 target, and instead pitched a just trust us message. And guess what? Aussies did trust them. That's the scary part, because now they've got a blank check, and instead of using it to actually lead on climate, they're just waiting. And let's not forget the Trump twist. Yeah, Donald bloody Trump. Peter Dutton goes chasing Trump's tail in the US, hoping for a selfie and a soundbite, only to get ghosted. Meanwhile, Trump calls Albo a great guy. You cannot make this up. It's like a weird political sitcom, except it's real life, and the stakes are our climate, our bills, our future. But hey, if you're still watching Sky News expecting an honest take on all this, you might want to lie down too. Preferably somewhere with a cool breeze, because this summer's going to be a scorcher. And if Albo keeps dragging his feet, 2035 is going to arrive a lot sooner than he thinks. And it won't be pretty. So here's the bottom line. Albo's government is standing at a fork in the road. Go bold and make real climate history. Or keep hiding behind bureaucrats and burn what little trust the public has left. The left's ready to fight. The right's refusing to budge. And Albo? He's still trying to have a bet each way. And that, folks, is a recipe for disaster. If you're sick of the same old political theatre, hit that like button, like you're deleting Ed Husick's resignation letter before he writes it. Subscribe if you're over the spin and want someone to call it straight. And grab the Albo-lutely clueless merch. Because at this rate, it might just become the slogan of the next election. Stay tuned. Legends, things are about to heat up. And we're not just talking about the climate.